Yo, what's going on, everybody? The Boxing Source checking in here, and this is about Jaime Munguia, man. The announcement has been made that Jaime Munguia is fighting on June 11th. Yep, let me see here. It's going to be June 11th in a 12-round bout against Jimmy Kelly. Yeah. I know that y'all have been following the Boxing Source, in reference to, Jaime Munguia's, time in the middleweight division. This is Jaime Munguia, the guy that won the WBO super welterweight title at one point, was defended the WBO super welterweight title, multiple times. And after he had gotten that particular belt, defended about, 5 times or so, he moved up to the middleweight division. And you know how things work with the WBO. When you're a world champion and you move up, you're pretty much the automatic or the mandatory challenger for that WBO title when you move up. It kind of like work with, Terrence Crawford when he came up from, 140 pounds to 147 to face Jeff Horn. And of course, the thing there with Shakur Stevenson being a champion at featherweight, WBO champion at featherweight, moving up to super featherweight, and he was able to eventually face Jamel Herring for that title. There have been other cases for that as well. Now with Jaime Munguia, he defended the WBO super welterweight title multiple times. He moves up to middleweight. Does it go for a world title shot? Nope, doesn't. He's fought, the likes of Spike O'Sullivan, Demetrius Ballard, among others. But when it comes to fighting for a world title, he hasn't necessarily done that. There's been one instance where he wanted to maneuver to kind of fight for the WBC middleweight title. And there was a thing in reference to him potentially facing Jamal Charlo for that WBC middleweight title, but that didn't quite happen. And I guess, it didn't quite happen because, Munguia was part of this deal with Golden Boy in the zone, which they have, renewed their deal. They've extended it for like 5 years, multi-year, multi-fight deal. And he's part of it. Now, the fight is going to be June 11th. And guess what? Jaime Munguia versus Jimmy Kelly is a fight at super middleweight. Super middleweight. Oh, I'm checking right here. Yeah, super middleweight. I don't know what to say in reference to this because Jaime Munguia is undefeated, undefeated fighter, has built up his record, since he was a youth and whatnot, and like I said, he's been a world champion at 154 pounds, but he moves up to 160 where you have the likes of Jamal Charlo, you had Demetrius Andrade, you had, Gennady Golovkin. You have other fighters that are there at middleweight, like, Chris Eubank Jr. You have Carlos Adames that was out there that he could have potentially faced to become the WBC mandatory challenger. Didn't necessarily happen. And shoot, you even have like Shane Mosley Jr. that's there under Golden Boy at middleweight. Or something like that. But you have this fight here against Jimmy Kelly. I don't know what the direction is with this guy, Jaime Munguia. I don't know if it's through Golden Boy Promotions or if it's Jaime Munguia himself that has him having these fights against guys that, some would say that he's highly favored against. But I'm just trying to figure out, how is he not fighting for a world title at 160 pounds? Hopefully some of, people that are watching this can help me out. Maybe y'all could explain it because I don't understand it. Y'all share your thoughts on this. As I know it's Jaime Munguia versus Jimmy Kelly, June 11th. They're supposed to be in the Honda Center in Anaheim, California, but when are we gonna see Jaime Munguia fight for the 160-pound world title, regardless if it's Golovkin, if it was going to be Demetrius Andrade, who he was a mandatory challenger to, or against Jamal Charlo? We just haven't seen that fight. Hopefully you could get some more insight on this because I'm stumped. Hopefully you enjoyed this insight on this particular topic. You can subscribe to the Boxing Source through YouTube. You can also catch the podcast that's on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, whatever you use to listen to podcasts. The Boxing Source radio show is usually on there. On that note, folks, I'm out. Peace.